echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as it seems. Flip the cards, turn around, mysteries we...
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jenny. Good morning, Maureen. Good morning, everybody. Oh, look at that. Yesterday I saw my first cardinal. I was sitting there talking about getting like a bird feeder because I haven't seen that many robins. So when I was a kid in Southern Maryland, we had robins all over the place. And just for whatever reason up in this area, I just don't see a whole lot of robins in Rockville. So she's like, you know what they're going to do to our patio, right? So apparently they love the trees over our patio, and she's like, it is going to be such a mess. So, but still, the birds are shining, the sun is singing. So what more could we need? So welcome to the, good morning, Angelina. Hey, Angelina, welcome to the MyTarot morning reflection, our daily inventory, chance to take a breath. And to remember about how nice this morning looks outside. Even if it's thunderstorm. Actually, I love a good summer storm. A good spring, summer, thunder, lightning. I really love that. So, I'm excited about spring. So we're doing our daily inventory, which is a chance to just remember to take a breath. Start our day with that. And try and connect a little bit with the universe before we walk out into the world. Because if you've read, you're welcome. Because if you've read anything about the news, we need to thoroughly gird our loins if we're going to walk out into the world today. So, let's see, where's my feet? My feet are flat on the floor, and I'm rolling the ankles because that feels really good. And then butt's in the seat, and it's doing the kitty dance. Checking in with the shoulders. Ugh. And the neck. Flipping that light switch that says, all right, let's do a tarot reading. Let's do some meditation. Let's see how we connect to everything out there. Good morning, Jenna. Yes, loud thunder and thunderbolts and lightning, very, very frightening me, Galileo. We can't send through the Venmo. We can. Sure. Tell me what you would need, Maureen. But I don't want you to go through too much effort or anything. Just having you here brightens my day every day. So, and that's really actually true. Yay, we have camera. So I'm ordering this stuff. I'm looking into it right now. But I came in, tested, watched it break once, and then fixed it again. So, yeah, we're good. It's all just part of the adventure. The tarot is just a microcosm of everything out there. And it really can reflect any situation that could pop up. So what am I going to do now? Making sure I did the meditation, breathing, everything else. Yeah, I did. Good. So I'm going to make our 3 stacks. It's like each one's a different thread going out to the universe. Each one's a different thought or idea. And if we believe in a multiverse, it's like each one of these is a different path, because literally, this is a conversation that's going to take us in one direction. This conversation will literally be a totally different direction, a different thought for the day from this one. And the question is, which string do we want to pull? Today, let's just go with the center, which I like to think of as right at the heart. And I'm going to do hour, 3, and 1. Yeah, yesterday's reading was really good. That one stuck with me throughout the day. So, I'm going to flip each card over one at a time like we're reading the pages of a book. And today, the exciting part, the first card, it's the 4 of coins. So, coins, home, health, finances, all the things that keep us grounded. And 4s are the 4 legs on a table, which is stability. So, Pamela Coleman Smith in her tarot from the 1904, she shows a woman holding a coin like this, and there's a coin, and she looks very conservative and very closed in. But one of the reasons why I like reading the original Marseille that one's based on is because we don't know exactly what the 4 here is about. It could be about hunkering down and being stable and maybe watching what we spend right now. Or it could be about being too conservative. Maybe we need to spend. But in reality, until we flip over this next card, it's hard to define. So I am going to see what the next card is, which is the 5 of Swords. So when we have 4s, when we have the 4s in the numerology, it is about stability. But then we have these swords, and swords are our thoughts, our ideas, and sometimes our anxieties, right? When you have 4, what happens when somebody throws a wrench in there? It kind of just completely knocks us out. 5s are always a challenge. So here we have where we had this stability. And I mean, we may have still had bills and things like that, but it's like we're juggling stuff, we're getting stuff. And this is about preparing for when we feel like we're getting knocked off the beam and how it affects us mentally. What's on paper, what we have on paper is one thing, right? We look at that, and this is where I am with my finances and things like that. But when we face challenges sometimes, it just feels like we're getting mentally knocked off the beam. And how do we feel about that? Then we start feeling a little bit overwhelmed. We start wondering about what am I going to do next? So again, this could be, it's not just financial. This could be whether it's health. We were stable, and then something comes up, and now we have to deal with all the consequences of that. It can do anything around the home. And keep in mind, these are the day-to-day cards, right? These are the minors. So this doesn't have to be a big life-changing destiny thing. These are the small things that creep up today that can affect the big things. And how we react to the small things is a cascading effect on how we affect the bigger things. But let's see what the next card is. To the 10 of coins. So here we are. We have the 4 of coins. Good, bad, or indifferent. Sometimes we just recognize it. Okay, I've got things somewhat under control. I can enjoy life. Then we get that reminder. We get that bill. We get a cough. We go to the doctor. We do whatever it is that throws us mentally off our balance. And actually, I was telling Mina, it's like, I don't know why, but the last few days, it's like, I don't know if it's the ADD or what, but I had what I told her. I said, it's like this free-floating anxiety. What is that? And because things have been going good. They're fine. And I think it's just I've been doing the tarot and doing meditation and things like this for so long. Instead of like just holding on to anxiety, doing things like this helps me to recognize and talk about, hey, babe, for whatever reason, I'm feeling this free-floating anxiety. I recognize it's normal. So when we look at something like this, where we like things to always be a 4, doesn't even need to have a reason where all of a sudden we just get mentally knocked off that rail again. And in reality, it's just us being in between the 10 of coins. And 10s are what? As I like to describe it, if the numerology is a race, and you guys have heard this a million times, this is for the new people. If numerology is a race, and plus I like teaching tarot. I really want to encourage anybody who's here to just sit down and learn it with us. 1 to 10. If this is a race, 9 is not the finish line. 10 is the finish line. 9 is the finish line, and 10 is what we do with the winnings as we make a decision on where do we go from here, because 10 is the last one. 10 is a 1 and a 0, and it makes us want to cycle through back to the beginning and start over again. So, maybe we are sitting still too long. Maybe we have a change that we need to make. And sometimes we just don't realize until we allow ourselves to go through that anxiety to say, you know what? Actually, things, it's how often have we done that? It's like, well, I don't know what I was so worried about. We ever say that before? I don't know what I was so worried about. What was that? What was I feeling that, what's going on? And then we realize it's like, yeah, you know what? I have a home, I have food, I'm in my health, I can at least get up and do X, Y, and Z. And that's the 10 of coins. The 10 of coins is recognizing what we have. Again, I'm not living in a castle in Sorrento in Italy, but I have a little castle here that I live in. And I do have some tuna fish at least. If nothing else, I can go in there and open up some tuna fish and eat that. So I'm kind of sitting in the 10 of coins right now. So this is just that natural feeling we sometimes have. We're okay this minute. Why am I feeling this? It's just I have to feel this. I just have to let myself mentally go through whatever anxiety it is that we all share. And it might be that it's time for a change. It's time to do something different. So let's see what the advice card is. Let me see what Maureen said. Think I'll find out about the agent sending you the message on Facebook. I don't know. Oh, you are amazing, Maureen. Again, thank you. So, let's see what the advice card is. Of course, it's the Queen of Coins. So, here's us being the worker bee. It's like we go to work. We're trying to make our lives nice and stable, but for whatever reason, we have to get up. We do this. We feel anxiety. But we're succeeding at some things in our lives. But this is like yesterday. It's about being a worker bee. Coin, sword, coin, start over again. Coin, sword, coin, start over again. Sometimes we get in those cycles. And yet we forget that instead of looking at things as just the numerology, just as this is the day-to-day, kind of like what we were talking about yesterday, the advice card is the Queen of Coins. So, queens are the element of water. Queens are our thoughts, our ideas. The element of water is our emotions, our feelings, our spirituality. So, looking at this spread here, how much spirituality do we see? None, because this is what we do every day when we get up. When we go through our day, and sometimes we feel this anxiety, and we have things we need to get done, or we're not getting done because we're trying to do the last 90% and the last 10% of the time. But, we've been at the same job for how long? Or we've been taking care of the same things around the house for how long? This is just that free-floating anxiety that we often feel when we don't have any spirituality, when we're not touching the emotional part of our lives and taking care. Because however you define spirituality, which can just be the positive feeling inside us or a spirit that can move you, this is what we need to remember, because queens, they are the heart. And here she is with the coins, right? So she's the heart, she's the spirituality, she is the emotions of our home, our health, our finances. Can you imagine if we go to the Queen of Coins and say, this is how I'm feeling. I'm progress. I know things are fine. I mean, in this aspect, for whatever reason, this is how I'm feeling. And the Queen of Coins is going to remind us that it's more than just about the money. It's more than about this. The Queen of Coins is going to make sure that, are we nurturing the other aspects of our lives? Maybe this is the reminder we need when we get into the Five of Swords, as we do, that, you know, why is my Four of Swords so disrupted? Don't even know. Can't give you an answer. There is no answer. The Queen of Coins is just going to say, maybe you just need a hug. Queen of Coins. Now keep in mind one thing, is that court cards can be us, could be somebody else, could be part of the situation. But since the court cards are not male or female, it's masculine energy, feminine energy. My Queen of Coins is when I need to say, kind of like what I did yesterday. You know, we're driving in a nice car. It's a few years old, but we're going to Baltimore to meet, we had some things we had to take care of. Free floating anxiety. We took care of the things we had to. I went to my Queen of Coins, which was my partner, and she helped me to get out of my head. You know, I mean, the free floating anxiety is going to stay there until the chemicals in my head says it's time to, you know, distract yourself to something else. But my Queen of Coins was there to talk to and get out of my head. So today, this is a recognition of whatever anxieties we're feeling. If it's free floating, that's great. Sometimes I just get that thing in the mail that I have to pay, and that's a physical thing. It's not just in my head. Or something around the house happens, and it's not just a physical, you know, mental thing. It's what knocks us out. But at the end of the day, we still have shelter, we have food, we have a place to sleep. So today is about either talking to our Queen of Coins about any anxieties we have, because just remembering to share with people. The moment we talk about something, we make it real. If I try and fix, if I'm just thinking to myself, I guess I'm feeling anxious, I guess I'll just stay in my head and think about that for a while. But when we talk about it, we make it real. So today, let's make any anxieties we might feel, or this week, let's talk about it. Share it on Facebook. Share it anonymously. What are your thoughts, people? And when you say it out loud, we make it real. And then we turn to either our internal Queen of Coins, or we find somebody we can talk to. So today, just recognizing that. So with that, I want to thank everybody again for an amazing day, for having me do this, because again, it's like, this is how I felt yesterday, and this is now that I'm talking about it out loud, I've just manifested all the answers, particularly the answers that I went through yesterday. I will see everybody again tomorrow. Take care and enjoy the day.
Stars in the sky, cards in my hand, searching for signs, lost in the sand. Whispers of fate, echoes of dreams in the dark slate. Nothing's as